And our candidate interviews continue this morning as we welcome to the studio Miss Janelle Riddle. She's the Yakima County Clerk. And good morning, Janelle. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning. Thank you for asking me.
Janelle, welcome aboard. For folks that are new to the Valley, new to politics, and a lot of people, believe it or not, do not follow politics at all, which is amazing to those of us that yap about it every day. But there's half the country doesn't care. There may be some folks out there that don't know your background, so reintroduce yourself to all the listeners and the voters in Yakima. Tell us who you are, a little bit about yourself.
I'm a lifelong resident of the Natchez Valley. I was born and raised and educated through the Natchez Valley School District. My husband was also born and raised in Natchez and was educated through the Natchez Valley School District.
High school sweethearts, were you?
No, not
No,
really.
not really. Okay. Just looking for a cool story. Yes.
Yeah. So, anyways, then we went on to, Don started his excavation business right out of high school. I attended Yakima Business College and earned an executive secretarial degree. It was a 10-month course. Then I started in the county clerk's office when I was just 4 days short of 19.
Wow.
On April 1st of 78.
Working your whole life.
Yakima County Clerk's office? Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
All
It was
right.
one of the first basic jobs that I had. I was hired by Agnes Thomas, actually. She was the clerk prior to Betty McGillen. Hired as a court clerk and then worked my way up. I think I was supervisor by the age of 23. Worked there for 9 years, and at the age of 28, we decided that it was time to start a family. So one of us had to work part-time, so that was me. So we did that, had two wonderful sons through the last few years, and they both received their business degrees and are now working with us in the family business.
Oh, that's cool. Well, you got the kids at home, huh? That's nice. No?
Well, they're not at home. Yeah,
Well,
they're
I mean,
close. They're close. Yeah, they're right close.
Yeah,
They've picked Natchez. They're
Not in the
building
house.
and
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Going to raise their families there too, so it's great.
How many terms has the Yakima County Clerk?
Pardon?
How many terms have you had as the county clerk?
This is I'm finishing my first term.
First term. All right. Well, what have you learned on this first term, and how do you feel that that will help you in your second term?
I've learned that a lot of things haven't changed, believe it or not, since I was there before. Court procedures, office procedures, pretty much everything has not changed too much. It's really been beneficial because I retained all that information I had before. It's been really good. I've got a lot of really good relationships with the other elected officials. I've had a lot of help with some issues we've had with payroll, and Charles Ross has had his payroll department girls train my new staff on how to exactly do the county payroll, so we're on the same page. Eileen Thompson has helped us tremendously with all of our codes in Odyssey so that they read with the Kayenta in the county so that Kayenta can read Odyssey and back and forth. Straightening out a lot of codes that were years old. She did all that for us, and she's also been very instrumental in allowing her staff, her financial staff, to train, kind of go over with our staff exactly their deposit procedures, their cash handling procedures, and everything. So, I mean, we're using the exact same procedures that the treasurer is using now. And just the help from the other electeds that I've received.
Give us an
As a new
idea. I
clerk.
think when people think of that, they hear the word clerk. Those of us that don't work with it on a daily basis think, all right, you're somebody who's taking notes or filing stuff away for somebody else. What is the true job description of the county clerk? What are the details? What kind, without getting into minutia, but just in general, the day-to-day stuff that you guys do?
Well, it's our responsibility when people come in and file cases in our office for any type of case type. We are responsible for those records and their files, and the court then uses those files and documents that are in the case to determine.
You're the legal custodian of all the information, right? I mean, isn't that what you do?
Yeah, financial, we're We do investments. We have trust funds. We collect a lot of revenue in the clerk's office. Most of it is pass through, and that means, like with restitution, when we get that in, it doesn't go into the county general fund. It goes right back out to the victims. So that's not really considered an actual revenue source. We work for the public. We don't work for the judges. The clerk is responsible for keeping in checks and balances as to the decisions that are being made in their judiciary for the public. So that's
Would
why
the judges agree that you work for the public and not for them?
Well, we assist them in the courtroom, and we assist them with the cases and documents or anything that they need to find in a case to be able to hear that case and make a decision. But
Are the court recorders? Do they work for you, or they work for the judge? The people who are
my deputy clerks are right now the official court reporters also.
Okay,
so they are my staff.
So do judges have a staff, Lance? Do you know? Or is it just?
Well, judges have staffs, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have administration office, in both Superior and Juvenile Court.
Janelle, what would you like to change? Are you going to bring any changes to your next term if you're reelected? I mean, what would you like to do, and would the public notice that?
Well, I think they've noticed a lot that we've done already in saving them time in the court and in our office and on the third floor, but. We're set to, and I need to check with the treasurer again, but the auditor's office started using the credit card readers. We are in line to do that in our office. First time ever that the clerk's office has ever had that. People come in, they need to pay for a copy that costs $1 or $2. They just don't have change, so they have to leave the courthouse, go get the money, come back, get in line again, and everything like that. So it's really going to save. Plus, it's also going to cut down dramatically on the amount of cash that we handle that comes through.
Yeah,
so that's we're really excited about that. And
well, that definitely will be seen by the public. Definitely they'll feel that impact. Got some initiatives here. We've been kind of asking people how they feel about the initiatives. I mean, I know that you don't directly deal with these, but you know, in some form or another, we may be if they pass.
They go
in our county.
Political philosophy.
Right, exactly. Thank you. That's what I wanted to say. Initiative 1631. It's 8:25, by the way, and we are talking to Yakima County Clerk Janelle Riddle, who's running for re-election. Initiative 1631. That's the carbon tax, how the pollution tax. How do you feel about that, Janelle?
Well, Lance, to be honest with you, I am still researching a lot of these initiatives because I want to make sure, and that's what I do, is I make sure before I vote that I have all the facts. And so I really can't honestly say one way or the other at this time.
On any of these initiatives? I mean, if I like 1631, the gun restrictions, 940, the police officer training, the sugar tax, the grocery tax. How do you feel about any of those?
Yeah. As far as the gun restrictions, I'm kind of leaning towards no on restrictions, but again, I'm researching all that.
I got you.
I just, there's things, and sometimes they're kind of hard to understand. So to have people kind of walk you through some things, answer some questions. So I believe in you go to the people that know, and get your answers there.
That's okay. Let me ask you this question. How do you feel that you're more qualified than your opponent?
I feel, because of my experience in leading this office for 10 years now, basically, between the two times that I've been in the clerk's office, 6 years before and the last 4 years as clerk. I have the financial background in municipal and county government finances, bar system, budgeting, that my opponent does not have, and I think it's really important that the clerk has that. You need to be able to know what's going on, to make sure it's going on correctly. I'm a very involved leader. I'm right in there working in the trenches with my staff. We've got a great team developed. They're phenomenal. What we've accomplished, we're 10 staff short from other counties that are comparable population.
Wow.
but it's made us come together. Of course, we always hope that we can eventually get some more staff so we're able to not work quite so hard and overtime for those that are still there sometimes. But we've got a really great team.
Janelle, you've been part of more than your fair share of news headlines over the term that you've been here. People who have followed along would naturally have questions. They hear you say you've got good relationships, but clearly county commissioners and you didn't always get along. A group tried to actually have you ousted. There was questions about financial stuff. What do you want the general public to know? I mean, the rest of your presentation seems organized and makes sense, but there's kind of that elephant in the room about all of the past-related conflict and all of that. What do you say to put the voters' minds to rest about that stuff? We got about a minute, and maybe that's not enough, but what would you say?
Well, again, most of the problems, and we did make mistake back with the DSHS orders and the early adopter process of Odyssey. Odyssey replaced a 30-year-old system that had been in place. It also changed the way we do everything in the clerk's office, except for answering the telephones, assisting at the counter.
Yeah.
Our finances, our case management, document management, everything has been changed through that process. But we fixed it. It's been 2 years, and we're doing great. We've moved on, and I really feel bad for my staff because they're the ones that are working really hard in there, and this really affects them and the work that they are doing in there too, not just me.
Well, I can appreciate it. You're the one that needs the votes to stay there. They don't. So you just want folks to know put words in your mouth here. Hey, been there, done that. We made it through. We're on track. We're on course, and no reason to think that we won't continue. Is that sort of your message?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, Janelle Riddle, should you win, we'll have you back for more conversations down the road in your role as clerk. We wish you well, good luck, and appreciate your time this morning.